Hey everybody, it's Adam from gamingcareers.gg, and today I want to talk about what to do when an interview starts to go south, which is, it's really scary, right? But I had a client recently reach out to me, and she was talking about an interview that she was on for a gaming job that she was really excited about, but the interviewer just never really keyed into her, and she couldn't get a read on this interviewer, and it seemed like they weren't able to build a rapport. So I shared with her some thoughts on how to turn an interview around and make it more positive in the future, and I wanted to share those with you. So I'm going to break them down into 3 things that you can do to turn an interview around that's gone south. So the first thing that you can do is that you can actually ask questions, right? I think that we have it in our minds that the interviewer asks the questions, and as the interviewee, we respond, right? But in a lot of ways, a good interview will be a conversation. And when you ask questions, you show them that you're engaged, but you're also taking control of the interview, right? And potentially even relinquishing control, or having your interviewer relinquish control to you, giving them a break. You might be like the 11th or 12th person that they've interviewed, right? They just kind of want to take a break. So you can start to ask questions, up the engagement, and then get very specific. You know, if they ask like, hey, tell me about your work experience, you can ask the question like, well, is there any part of my experience that you would like me to focus on? And then it kind of gets them thinking like, oh, this person is really engaged and interested, and I want to be engaged and interested in them. Now, the second thing that you can do is that you can tell your story, right? And what I mean by this is that a lot of times when I've interviewed people, they'll just sit there and they'll tell me about their job experience, right? They'll literally just recite their resume to me. But this is a really good opportunity for you to tell a story. As humans, we actually prefer a story over just the facts, right? So if you talk about what you've done, the value that you bring, the successes that you've had, what kind of impact that you've made, why you made certain decisions in your career, I think that they'll actually get more tuned in with you, and you'll be able to build a better connection with your interviewer. And then the last thing that I would say is that you have to remember that not everybody is good at interviewing, right? So we don't need to take it personally, right? Or we don't even need to think that that meant that it was a bad thing. I can tell you, I've actually been on interviews that I thought were terrible, and then I actually went on to get the job. And what that tells me is that that person really just didn't know how to interview, right? And I've interviewed a lot of people as well. And I can tell you that I've never been trained on how to interview either. I kind of had to figure it out on my own, right? But a lot of people don't have time for that. They may be the hiring manager. They may know what they're looking for in a candidate, but they don't necessarily understand what questions to ask. And they might not even be concerned about building a rapport with you on the phone, right? Or during the interview process. So hopefully that'll sort of ease your mind so that you can just fall into like giving a really good interview. And then following tips 1 and 2, which is to ask questions and be specific and tell your story. Thanks for listening. If you're interested in knowing more about how you can give your gaming or esports career a boost and navigate the crazy world of the gaming and esports business, then check out gamingcareers.gg or leave a comment.